All right, hello everyone. Welcome. We'll give it about a minute or two for people to come in. If people are here and they want to drop in the chat their name and what organization they're from. So we'll get started in just another minute. And then just remember that these are always recorded and posted online on the funding website. I'll go over where that is. So from the GROC homepage, if you click on funding opportunities, we're going to be talking about the RFA, request for applications to the general fund. If you scroll down, this is going to be all of your application materials. This is going to be the Q&A form. Please submit all questions there. I check that daily. And then if you click on this link, that will open up the answer sheet for people to view. Webinars, once they are recorded, will be linked right here. I'm sorry, last time I thought I had set up a single registration link for all webinars and all office hours, but that was not the case. WebEx is a new technology. I appreciate your patience while we all learn it. So there are now individual registration links for all of the webinars and all of the upcoming office hours. I will make sure to link that one. So make sure you register. It'll send you the calendar invite with the link. And then, like I said, once it's recorded, roughly 24 hours is what it takes. I will link that video right here so that you can go back and watch it. So today we are going to be going over the mandatory application information, disclaimers of transparency, project title, and funding areas. So there are a couple ways that you can get this information. If you go to section 4, application and submission information, that will open a PDF that you can download and write in. But it is a sample of the questions that will be asked on the application in Civic Plus. So we're going to be going over this section 2 right here today. The disclaimers of transparency. So up to here. You can also find this information if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, click on the final submission, submit to Civic Plus. And then this is the official Civic Plus portal that you need to create an account to sign in to fill out the information. This is the only type of application that will be accepted, one that is submitted this way. So you will fill in right here the organization name, the legal name of your business. So you might go by Disneyland, but your official legal name is Disney Park. So you're going to want to put the legal name right here. Then this is where you would put that Disneyland, that public name. Put your mailing address, the telephone number. If you have a website for your organization, please give that to us. Give us just a very brief description of your organization. Is it sober living? Is it a treatment center? Is it residential, outpatient? This is the name of your organization leadership, their email, and then this is the information for the person who's responsible for the application. This is the point of contact for the application. So in terms of required organization documents, you do need to have a completed and signed W-9. And so a couple different ways that you can get this. You can literally just Google W-9 and find one for free to download, fill out, sign it, and upload it. You can also click on this link right here, and that will take you to the official IRS page, where you can download the W-9, fill it out, sign it, and then that will be your upload. You also need a Colorado Secretary of State certificate of good standing. So again, a couple of different ways that you can get that. I just copied that right from the application, the funding announcement, into Google. It's going to be that first link right here. It tells you what good standing is, what the certificate of good standing is, and then it gives you directions on how you can print that, but you would go to this business tab, and then you would look up search business database, and then you would look up that legal name. So I can go. And it says right here, status good standing. I would click on the ID number, scroll down, then there's a link that says get certificate of good standing. And then a pop-up window should come up for you to download it. I see it wants to load. I'm also on an HP. I'm a Mac user, so I don't think the computer likes me very much. You can also click on this link right here, and it'll take you to that page where you can type in your business name again, and then go to that certificate of good standing to download that. We'll go back to the form. You will also need your employer identification number, an EIN, it might be an FEIN, your federal tax identification number. The best way to get this number is on a tax return. If you don't have a tax return, then you do have to contact the IRS to get that number. I cannot assist you with getting this number. This is something that only you would have as the business owner or business holder. Again, the best way to do that is a tax return. Otherwise, you have to, how do I get my, make sure that it is like the official IRS website, the irs.gov. Click on this and they'll go through the process of how you can get a hold of your EIN. For state and county required licensing or certification, this is completely optional. This is if you are providing some type of treatment, then you have a treatment provider license. You're going to want to put that number right there. And then finally, we have disclaimers of transparency. This is such a quick webinar today. Disclaimers of transparency is that be aware that the GROC cannot support duplicate funding efforts, and applicants will have to choose only one funding source if approved by multiple funding lines. Applicants can piece together funding sources for different aspects of their program or service, which should be disclosed in item 3. This is also referred to as braiding federal funding. So you can receive multiple lines of funding for the project as a whole, but you can't receive 2 different lines of funding to fund the same thing. So for example, I can't have a stipend for myself from the GROC and from the COAG Infrastructure Award. We can have money for my stipend from the GROC and then money for all of our programmatic aspects like software, laptops from the COAG Infrastructure Grant. And those together would make up the program. That is acceptable. You should disclose that to us. So number one, all materials and supporting documentation included with the application are subject to Colorado's public records laws and requirements. You would click I understand. We will do our best to keep information private, such as that EIN, that tax ID number. As you saw, your certificate of good standing is a public document. The completed and signed W-9, your financial information will be kept private to the extent that we can keep it private and keep it protected. But there is a council of roughly 24 people who will be reviewing applications. They are all required to sign non-disclosure agreements that they cannot share that information outside of the application review process. I'm so sorry. Like I said, folks, I am a Mac user and I'm transitioning to an HP. So I am learning how to use the computer again. Let me just pull up that website again. Let me get this screen shared. All right, so then back to the bottom part. For number two, disclose if you receive funding from other sources for the program or service described in this application. If we're your sole source of funding, then you would click no. If you do receive funding from other grant makers or other state awards, for example, sober living houses often work with Signal. They're going to want to put yes. If you bill Medicaid, you're going to want to put yes. And then in item 3, do you plan to submit this application to other funding sources? If so, please describe which ones. For example, we do have a couple of applications that just submitted their projects to the COAG Infrastructure Award. They can also submit to the ROAX, which is GROC. So they're going to want to put that they submitted this application to the COAG Infrastructure Share. If there is a Behavioral Health Administration Award, another state award that you plan to submit this exact same application, you're going to want to put this here. Continuing off of this like braiding funding conversation is that you can stack awards. So if you are asking for a capital purchase, your budget is $1 million. You submitted a $500,000 award to the COAG Infrastructure Share. You can submit another $500,000 to the GROC. You can also submit the full 1 million ask to the GROC, knowing that if you get the COAG Infrastructure Share, then you have to deny part of your award from the GROC. So you can't duplicate efforts. You can build on each other, but you can't have the same line item being funded by different awards. So again, if you have questions on that, please feel free to shoot me an email, set up a meeting with me. I'm more than happy to go over that with you. And that was all we have for today. That was just the mandatory application information, disclaimers of transparency. Oh, project title and funding areas. So two more. Project title, this is going to be a descriptive title of your project. This is what will be used to identify your project for evaluators. So make it descriptive, but don't make it too long. And then in terms of selecting your project area, you need to pick a project area that will help me sort out your application. So that could be prevention, treatment, recovery, harm reduction, planning and coordination. I did We did put all of the descriptions right here for you, so you can go back and see exactly where your program might fit. There is also a selection for capital. So this would be like if you want to buy a house, if you want to buy a van, if you want to pay for construction, that is the primary ask of your application. Regardless of which area it fits, you're going to select capital. If the primary aspect of your application is sober living, scholarships for different populations of people, and then you also want to buy a van, you're going to pick recovery, because the bulk of your application is for sober living, and then there's just this small addition of buying a van. Again, this is really for construction costs, or purchasing a home. If you have questions, again, please email me. Please use that Q&A form of what would constitute a capital purchase. Give me an example, and then I can work with legal to help provide you the best answer for that. Planning and coordination is more workforce development. So if you want to do a needs assessment of the region to see what type of education is needed for workforce to retain clinicians or sober living home owner operators, treatment providers, this would be the area that you go into. Any additional efforts for MAT, MOUD, what type of need is that? Any type of research on the area, you're going to want to be in the planning and coordination. I think that is it for this. There was also, I did want to point out a minor change after last Thursday's funding announcement. So if you click on the funding opportunity description, it should be dated as 01/30/25. That would be the most recent update. And then scroll all the way down to eligibility right here. You will notice that now for-profit organizations are actually eligible for regional share money. They were not eligible for state share money, but they are actually eligible for regional share money. So that has been updated. I apologize for any confusion. I appreciate all of the eyes who saw that and asked critical questions. This is a learning experience for all of us, including myself. Yeah, so that is it. If people want to drop some questions in the chat. Someone said they couldn't hear me in the chat. Were you able to get the sound? Good. Yeah, WebEx is a new platform for all of us, me included. So again, thank you all for your patience. Someone asked, can we apply for more than one category or project area if they are two separate businesses? Yes, you can apply for more than one category or project area if you have two separate businesses, if you have two separate projects. You cannot apply for the same project through two different businesses through two different categories. That's duplicative. I would ask that you make a decision on which business you want to run the project. Someone said, I appreciate the update. I missed where we go for the form to start the application. Where is that link? You're going to scroll down to the bottom of the page. Let me share my screen again. So if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, it says final submission, submit to Civic Plus. And then that will take you to the form. My recommendation is that you do not fill this in until you are ready to submit. If you submit an incomplete application, we cannot call it back. And then if you submit the completed application, that's a duplicate. So you're causing more work for me. That doesn't make you look very trustworthy to handle a couple $100,000 to run a project. So please, please, please be cautious about using this. I cannot guarantee, I don't think your computer would save this for later. That is why there is that application available. The format is available as a PDF for you to fill in your answers, application and submission form, section 4. I would download this, type all of your answers here, do it on a Word document. That way, when you look it over, you're completely ready. You know that this is the final draft. You can just copy and paste all of your answers from your Word document into the Civic Plus website. Someone asked if this RFA requires a LOI, which I'm assuming you mean letter of intent, or any pre-submission notice. No, just apply. Giving us a heads up you're going to apply doesn't do anything for our funding and our budget. I know that the state share does do that because they do have more limited funds than they have applications. At this time, we have enough money. We only received, I believe, 10 applications in the first round. That was before my hire. So that was very manageable with our budgeting. Chris Habgood is on the call. He's our fiscal contact. He feels confident that we don't need LOIs, letters of intent, so just go ahead and apply. And this is going to be a shorter webinar. So that is it. That is all I have for you today. There is a drop-in office hour on Thursday where it's more conversation based for people to drop in, ask questions that might be a little bit more specific to their project, to go over what we went over today in the funding announcement. And then there is a webinar next week, and that will be the background description of project and objective. So that one is a little bit longer. We'll probably go the full time. And that's all I have, everyone. Thank you so much for coming.